Hey guys, and welcome back to Teen Questions with me and Hollow, our weekly show where I answer your questions each time from comments and questions left in the previous video. This time we have some good ones. There was something I was going to say before we properly began, but I can't remember what it was, so yeah, we'll just get on with the show. Ah, that's what it was. I have to prove the tea thing, but yes, that is very hot. I did not let that cool down. Whoops. May have burnt my tongue there. It's fine. So yeah, on the screen now is probably, what was it? Some Hunger Games stuff going on. Other than that, yeah, there's just gameplay and a camera at the same time. Mental, I know. The problem I was having was that my webcam actually can't record in everything apart from MP4. And Sony Vegas was like, nah, bro, I don't like MP4, even though I render in MP4 all the time, so don't know. And it kept like splitting the audio track and the video track like apart and then not giving me a video track. So there would just, you'd hear the sounds of what you're hearing now, but there'd be no webcam when I put it into Sony Vegas to edit. So I was having to record in this weird way where I wasn't actually able to edit anything. So that's why it was just like only me and whatnot in the last couple of episodes. But thanks to Rage and some Google fixing, we have fixed that problem. And I should be able to edit again, which will be nice. And yeah, I shouldn't be the whole video. I should be like in the top right corner or something. Other than that, that's all I have to say. So first question comes from Angela Rhodes. Have you ever studied in any other language or plan on studying one? Yes, I've studied a few. But I've never properly done it. So, for high school, in my high school experience, we had to do 2 languages, and I was on the German side. Josh was on the French side, by the way. Just for an hour. No, he wasn't. He was on the German side, or was he? I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember. But basically, I was learning German throughout my whole way through high school. So year 7 till year 11. And I wasn't into it, I wasn't paying attention, and I wish I'd paid more attention to it because it's useful to learn another language and it's interesting. But at the time, I just didn't give a fuck about anything in high school, and you know, I didn't think education was relevant like an idiot or something. I just didn't try. I don't know what I was thinking. But I just didn't try for some reason. And it led me to not really learn much German. I kind of learned the basics of it over 5 years, but never really learnt more than that. And I totally could have if I tried, but I didn't. While I was doing that for about 2 or 3 years, at some point during high school as well, I also started learning Spanish as well. It was obligatory, we didn't get a choice, and I remember like none of it. So I learned like some basics of Spanish, and then it's all gone from my memory now and just worthless. They taught us how to pass a test basically in German and Spanish, and that was it. So very disappointing overall. So I've learned that over the space of, you know, my high school, and since then I've sort of tried to decide what I want to learn, because I have decided I want to learn a second language. I want to learn a third language, but I have to begin with the second one, and it's been hard to sort of choose. I've used some online sort of courses and stuff. Pocket actually told me about a good one. I was learning German for a little bit, but I fell out of it pretty quickly. Sort of got like a basic understanding of Spanish, like how it works, and the basic understanding of German. But I also need to learn Greek because in Cyprus they speak Greek, or whatever you'd call that in Greek language. You know, like how German isn't German in German, it's like Dutch or whatever, or Deutsch. But yeah, basically I need to learn that because it may become relevant to my life at some point where I need to speak Greek, because there's got some property out there that I may inherit one day, and I need to be able to speak Greek to understand the people who I have to deal with. So that's something on the back list thing that I'm gonna have to learn at some point in my life. But I definitely think German's up there because I already learned all the basics, and it was like when I was relearning it, it was like relearning to ride a bike. You never really forget. It's just I only learned so much. I need to learn in a structured way. I might get a tutor or something to do it. But I think it's important to learn another language. It really sort of points out flaws and certain things of your own language, and you learn a bit more about other languages and other cultures. And I think it's really relevant if you're going to go to a culture or a place where they speak that specific language. You should probably take some time. There's a plane going over, I'm sorry. you should probably take some time and learn that language because it'll be relevant and it's easier to learn because you hear it around yourself all the time. If you go to Germany, for example, and you hear lots of people speaking German and it becomes relevant in your day-to-day life. Like for me right now, learning German's just like, it might come in handy in some time down the line, you know? But if you live in Germany and you're not a German speaker and you're learning German, you learn it so quickly because it's relevant, it's important. You understand phrases, things people say to you and, you know, objects or whatever, and it becomes sort of a thing that you put time in and you give 100%. It's hard to learn something like a language unless you're really focused on it. Unless you already know a few languages, at which point you become accustomed to learning new languages and you know what you're doing. But I think it's really important to learn the languages, and German/Greek are going to be the first ones that I learn. Angela, sorry that was a long-winded answer. All right, next question comes from Austin Cole. Hey, hello. Have you ever got into serious trouble with the police? If so, how many times? No, I never have. I've had some interaction with the police, but never in like a bad situation. I've never stolen anything, for example. Basically, I just like interacted with them a lot to day-to-day basis with my old job because shoplifters were like a really common, regular thing, and the security guard was constantly tackling people and dragging them back into the office, and then having police come, and then I was there, sat there talking to these people for like hours and hours and hours and hours at my old job. It was just a normal thing. Like, you know, when people get caught stealing like a fucking 99 pence thing, it's really annoying because even though it's 99 pence, they'll still run, they'll still push people out the way, they'll still get violent to escape because they don't want to get in trouble for trying to steal something, even if it was like 99 pence. And it was so fucking aggravating. The amount of fucking like angry people or dumb people who just thought they'd get away with stealing something just as a like one-off thing and then got caught immediately was just like, it was a ridiculously high number. And I don't know. Yeah, so I've never really got any trouble with police, I'm afraid, and I just sort of know a couple of police officers from that. But that was like a year and a half, 2 years ago now, so not really anything since then. Next question comes from Rico Plays. This is an obvious question that's been asked a lot of times. When are you going to play Cube World again? When it gets updated. What do you expect? Okay? Alright, I hope that answers your question, because it's a dumb question, okay? It's not been updated since I last played it, amazingly, and therefore there's nothing for me to do, so there's no reason for me to play it. So I'll play it when they update it. Hopefully that's soon. Alright, next question comes from Brenergy. Brenergy. What is your favourite weather/season? I really struggle with this one. Spring's a beautiful time. Summer's a really beautiful time. I love to go in fields and whatever and just go for walks and just the whole environment looks... I love colour, but I also love like the extreme pitch whiteness of like a field covered in snow from winter. So I don't know, it's hard to choose between winter and summer. I think I'd go with winter if I was somewhere that I was happy to stay and I knew people and the people weren't far away. I think I'd go with summer if people were further away because it's worth traveling and it's nicer out. You know, it's easier to travel in summer. So that's my opinion. I love winter and I love summer, so I can't choose. All right, next question comes from Madison Curry. Hey, hello, what was your favourite experience as a child? They were saying, like, have you any holiday thing or something? And I was thinking about this, and I was like, there was one time when I was like, I don't know, 5 years old, and we were at a hotel, and there was like a restaurant, and it was like really early in the morning. It was like 6 a.m. And I ran down to this restaurant with I think it was my mum, and we went to go get a croissant because it was the first time I'd ever eaten a croissant on that holiday trip, and I loved it so much. It was like this warm, tasty pastry thing. And I loved it so much. Just fell in love with the food itself. Loved it since. And I remember going down and the restaurant hadn't opened up yet. So they were like, I'm sorry, we're not open yet. There's not actually anything to give you. And I was like, I remember, like, I don't remember much. It's kind of a blur. But I remember my parents explaining it to me. And I looked really disappointed in front of this person. So he went around the back, like into the kitchens and had them like quickly make me a warm, freshly baked croissant. And it was just the most tasty, delicious, wonderful experience ever. And that's what that's a bit of a blur to me, but I kind of remember that. And I guess that's my favorite experience. Just off the top of my head, I guess. So there you go. Final question now already from Lightning. Thoughts on anime dubs? There's some other things that he said, but mostly the theme and thing I'm going to answer is what are my thoughts on dubs? Like English over anime when it was originally like worded and acted and animated to go along with Japanese voice acting. And 99% of the time it's awful. My opinion is that I really dislike dubs in general. Now, I've said this in a few places, and what I need to point out and explain is that, let's say you've got a sub, so a sub is subtitles of a Japanese anime, right? So they say something in Japanese, and then it translates it in text at the bottom, and you read that and listen to them speak in Japanese. A little bit more effort, you have to pay more attention to the actual anime, which is the problem, I guess, for some people, which is why some people watch dubs, I guess. And the difference really is the quality of voice acting, and I can't get over it. If I listen or watch an anime in subbed and I listen to the actual voice actors and the actual like animation to go along with the sounds they're making with their mouth, it makes sense, right? Whereas when it's a dub, you can tell that there's this discrepancy between the mouth movement and the dub. And also, it seems like the voice actors they get on so many of these like animes or whatever are just so terrible, like so awful, like poor choices, and that's not what that character's supposed to sound like, kind of thing. And it drives me insane. But there are rare occasions where, you know, I'm impressed with the voice work. You know, like lots of Studio Ghibli stuff. That's awesome in the original state, you know, in Japanese or whatever. But the dubs are actually, they've done a really good job with them. I'm surprised at the quality of them. So I guess that's a good example. But if you like watching things in dubs and you can handle it, fair enough. It's just like when I hear like Naruto speaking in English, it sounds like this like 12-year-old he's got the voice actor of a 40-year-old chain smoker man. It pisses me off when I hear that kind of thing, you know? It doesn't make any sense. It's a child that sounds like a man. It's stupid, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I don't like dubs. 90% of the time I don't like dubs. Sometimes they're good. It's rare, but I don't really like dubs, and that's all I have to say on it, really. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. I'm just going to enjoy this tea. Please leave a question in the comments below on this video for your chance at it being answered next time, and that's the best way to do it. And yeah, see you next time, guys. Have a great day.